Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a really powerful two-step idea that honestly could completely change how you deal with stress, with burnout, and that feeling of just being stuck. It's a way to stop fighting reality and, start working with it to find a lot more peace and effectiveness in your life.
So let's just jump right in with a question that I think will feel really familiar to a lot of us. Do you ever feel caught in this totally impossible choice? You're either pushing yourself so hard you're on the verge of complete exhaustion, or you just feel like, what's the point? And you basically give up.
Right. Well, if you feel that way, you are definitely not alone. The research we're digging into today actually has a name for this: modern paralysis. It's that sensation of being completely gridlocked, and it usually happens when we fall into one of two very common, but as we'll see, deeply flawed traps.
Okay, so let's break down why our usual go-to strategies so often lead us straight into a dead end. We think we're making a choice, we think we're on a path, but it turns out both paths actually lead to the exact same place: absolutely nowhere.
This slide just lays out the two extremes so perfectly. So on one side, you have acceptance without action. This is what's called learned helplessness. It's basically when you become so passive, so resigned to reality that you just stop trying. Then, on the other side, you've got action without acceptance. This is the ego-driven trap. It's when you're just running on a treadmill of pure effort, completely ignoring reality, and heading straight for total burnout.
And this, of course, leads us to the big question. I mean, if just accepting everything leads to helplessness, and just grinding away leads to burnout, what are you supposed to do? Is there another way out of this whole trap?
Well, yes, there is. The answer is in what we're calling a powerful third path. And it's not about choosing one of those extremes over the other. It's about combining them, integrating them into a really elegant two-step solution.
And here it is. It's so simple, but it's really profound. The whole process is just two steps. First, you practice what's called radical acceptance. And then, and this is the key, only from that place of acceptance do you take intentional action. You see, they're not opposites at all. One actually makes the other possible.
So let's be super clear about this, because it's so important. Radical acceptance is not giving up. It is not saying you like what's happening or that you approve of it. It's an active, even courageous choice to stop wasting your precious energy fighting reality. It's about looking at your situation, as painful as it might be, and just saying, okay, this is what's true right now.
And this is where the magic happens. Once you stop that exhausting internal argument with life, you free up a huge amount of energy. Intentional action is all about taking that reclaimed energy and pointing it toward what really truly matters to you, your core values. It's this incredible shift from, I have to do this, to I choose to do this.
Now, this isn't just some nice-sounding philosophical idea. This whole framework is actually this amazing meeting point between ancient wisdom and cutting-edge modern science. And the evidence? Well, it's pretty incredible.
Let's start with the ancient wisdom part. Thousands of years ago, Taoist philosophy talked about this idea called Wu Wei. It kind of translates to effortless action. And it's not about being lazy. It's about being incredibly effective by flowing with reality instead of fighting against it. Think of a master swimmer using the current instead of struggling against it. And guess what? Modern science is totally catching up to this. It's amazing. Studies have shown that athletes who consciously practice surrendering control over the final outcome actually perform 23% better than athletes who try to force the result. By letting go, they actually become more effective. How cool is that? And here's what's actually happening inside your brain when you do this. Your brain literally shifts gears. The part of your brain that just spins and spins with worry, it quiets down. Creative problem solving, that goes way up. Your brain's fear center, the amygdala, it calms down. And you get this nice boost of dopamine, which helps with motivation. Your brain is just smarter when you stop fighting.
Okay, the science is fascinating, for sure. But let's get real. Does this stuff actually hold up when life gets truly difficult? When people are facing really high stakes, incredibly stressful situations? Let's take a look at the data.
So, a study was done with emergency workers in Iran. You can't imagine a more stressful job. After they were trained in this exact framework, which is also known as acceptance and commitment therapy, their scores for job fatigue just plummeted. We're talking by an incredible 54%. Their jobs didn't get any less stressful, but their ability to handle that stress was completely transformed.
And we see this in our personal lives too. This timeline shows the typical stages of healing after a major relationship ends. You go through shock, then grief. But look at stage 3, acceptance. That is the crucial turning point. You can't just skip it or force your way past it. You have to first accept the reality of what happened to unlock that final stage, reorganization and building a new, stronger life.
So, this skill that we're building through this whole process, it has a name in psychology. It's called psychological flexibility. And really, it's kind of a superpower. It's the ability to stay present with all your difficult thoughts and feelings, without letting them hijack you and stop you from moving toward what you care about most.
So, the big question is, how do we actually do this? How do we make this a real practical thing in our day-to-day lives? Well, it all boils down to a pretty simple two-part practice.
So here it is, the big takeaway. In any difficult moment, you can pull out this practice. First, just for right now, you accept. You stop that inner argument, that inner fight with what you're feeling. Then, from that quieter, clearer space, you act. You just ask yourself, okay, given this reality, what is one small thing I can do that lines up with my values? That's it. That's the whole game. Accept, then act.
And we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Real power, it turns out, isn't about controlling everything around you. It's about accepting what you can't control so you can reclaim all that energy, clarity, and freedom to act on what you can. So what is one thing, big or small, that you can stop fighting today?